review. Okay, so this we start with the design. We want to actually focus on the chapter 3, which is we want to specify on the research design, either qualitative or quantitative. But this week we focus on quantitative research approach. Okay. Kalau you all tak faham, tanya. Okay. Sebab saya takut bila saya dah terlalu jauh, nak patah balik tu susah. Okay, so there are 3 major research paradigm that I already introduced to you a few weeks ago. We have quantitative, qualitative and mixed method. Dia ada lagi sebenarnya bila you all dekat another level, you all will be exposed to more advanced research design. For example, not case study, action research. Action research. Okay. So quantitative ni relies primarily on the collection of quantitative data. So bila kita kata quantitative ni, it relates to numbers. The data ni will be in numbering form, numbers form. Okay, meanwhile qualitative ni research that rely primarily on the collected data of qualitative data. Data maksudnya qualitative ni data will be in verbatim form. Data will be in in wording form. Words. Okay, words. Kalau observation pun you have to translate into wording, kan? So another one is mixed method, mixed research. Either research that involve the mixing of quantitative and qualitative. Lama, apalah buat slide macam ni. Okay, they consist of both combination. Yang buat slide tu saya marah kat diri saya lah. Okay, so mixed method ni, it is either you start with qualitative and follow with quantitative, or you start with qualitative and follow with sama lah. You start with quanti and follow with quali, or start with quali or follow with quanti. Okay, you mix, you combine the two paradigms. Okay. So tadi kalau you all ingat yang saya sebut objectivist, subjectivist, positivist, interpretivist, inilah dia. So before we come up with the paradigm ni, dia ada dia ada views. Okay, dia ada views on how we can differentiate between qualitative and quantitative. So basically the qualitative ni in which we use this design when we want to explore. Okay, when we want to explore thing or making observation to develop theory. Dia ada 2 purpose. Either you want to explore a phenomena or you want to develop a new theory. Okay, so the philosophical assumptions under the qualitative ni, it is based on subjectivity. Subjectivity ni maksudnya it means that it is open for individual interpretation. Subjective. Okay, the interpretation tu will be very subjective. Contextualization, it focus on specific context. For example, you want to study a problematic students in UPM. The focus tu kat situ je. Okay, specific to the problematic student. Inductive reasoning. Inductive ni maksudnya tadi ni lah. Okay, a very small sample but the application is very big. Okay, and then depth, in-depth. We focus on the specific group, for example, problematic student, and then we go in depth to understand this group. Why? The question pun akan sebut why. Dia punya soalan, kan? Why you behave like this? Dia dah jarang what dah. Kalau kuanti biasanya what. Kuali ni what? Why? Why ni it will open for more elaborative answers. Okay? So words ni meaning that dia punya output, the findings will be in wording form, words. Okay, compared to quantitative, we want to confirm a theory. That's why kalau dalam quali, not all qualitative study has theory. Okay, not all qualitative study ada theory. Kalau quantitative, you need to have theory. That's why the purpose of quantitative lain daripada to figure out the relationship between variables. We want to test or we want to confirm the theory. Okay, quantitative ni mostly we want to test or confirm the theory. Okay. And then we want to make observation to test the theory. Observation dalam teori, dalam kuanti ni bukan bermaksud you pergi observe bukan. Okay. You dia observation ni maksudnya you buat data collection to test the theory. Okay. And then the philosophical assumption, it is based on objectivity. Objectivity ni, for example, when you conduct a quantitative study, you already determine your sample and then as well as the variable. You already limit your variable to specific phenomena only. Your IV, what are your IV? What is your DV? Meanwhile, in qualitative, there is no such thing. You just identify the phenomena, but you do not know a specific variable. Faham? Itu objektif. Maksudnya we specific lah. We specify what we want to focus on. A generalizability in which in quantitative, after we conduct the study, we collect the data from sample. We want to make generalization for the population. So maksudnya the applicability only to the population lah. To this population. Okay. And then deductive reasoning. Deductive this one lah. From larger, we collect data from large group. That's why dalam kuali dia ada kuanti dia sample size dia besar. Dalam kuali sample size dia kecil. Okay, sample size dalam kuanti always the bigger the sample size always the better. For kuali pula sample size basically not more than 15 or 20. If you have more than 15 or 20, the data tu cannot be managed. It is very complex. Kalau kuanti, the larger the sample size is always the better. Faham? Ada soalan nak tanya?
Tak ada.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and then breadth. Okay, breadth ni dia luas. Breadth, depth ni dalam. Tak nak annotate. Okay, so mana nak draw. Okay, so kalau breadth ni dia luas macam ni. So when conduct our study, we have set population kan, population besar. Okay, but meanwhile when when we collect our sample pun besar juga. 100 ke 80 ke, besar lah tu. Okay, this is quant. Tapi qual pula ni. Dia dalam. Okay, qual. Okay. Qual ni dia dalam, dia in-depth. Dia ke dalam ni. Okay, dia ke dalam. Meanwhile, qual ni dia luas. That's why the sample size for qualitative can be any. Sample size ni boleh jadi satu. Okay. Sebab kita nak study very specific dekat orang ni je. Okay, for example, you want to study about Tun Mahathir's leadership. So you want the focus is only on Tun Mahathir. Yes, for qualitative possible. Okay, but for quantitative cannot. You need to have more than 30 respondent. 30 tu besar lah. Okay, more than 30. They depend on the sample size formula that you use as reference. Okay, faham Kuanti macam ni, kuali dia ke dalam. Okay, so numbers. So numbers ni dia punya result. The finding will be in numbers form, numeric. Okay, faham Faham dah beza dua ni? Okay, so you just imagine. Saya mark ni, yang bawah ni. So you just imagine when you do the mixed method, you need to conduct a study that is very broad, for example, sangat besar. At the same time, it is very depth. Ini untuk mix. Ini mix. Ini satu-satu, besar dan dalam, large and depth. But in mixed method, it is large and depth. Okay? Okay, faham Okay, so this one is the example of qualitative research design. We have narrative, we have phenomenology, we have grounded theory, we have ethnography, and we have case study. Okay, we have 5. Yang paling penting lah, dia ada banyak. the most significant one ni je. Narrative, phenomenology, grounded theory. Grounded theory ni dia specific to develop a new theory. Okay, and then for quantitative examples we have general, we have experimental, non-experimental. Experimental, non-experimental. Okay. Descriptive study is under non-experimental. Correlational study is under non-experimental. Quasi-experimental study is under non-experimental. Nanti tengok balik kan, saya terlupa ni. Tak apa, letak dulu bawah non-experimental. Experimental study obviously under experimental study. Tapi nanti dia akan ada beberapa jenis. We will go through one by one. So far clear? Okay, good. Ni lah kita bagi satu illustration on qualitative and quantitative ni. Okay, kalau qualitative ni, who would have thought that a structure of steel could be so beautiful, strong and delicate at the same time. So see, you can see that it is well elaborative, strong and delicate at the same time. Kan dia elaborate. Tapi kalau it shorten my commute to work by 12.7 miles. Very objective. It shorten my commute to work by 12.7 miles. Kalau this one, it is elaborative. Interpretation, it open for interpretation. But this one very specific, 12.7 miles. Okay. Itu dia punya berbeza sikit. Okay, so this is the LO for yang betul-betul LO for this week. Baru nak masuk. Okay, so at the end of the session, students are able to determine the quantitative research assumptions and characteristics, differentiate between different types of quantitative research design. So these are the the assumptions of quantitative research. The reality is objective, out there and independent of the researcher. Okay, ni lah objektif dia. Okay, when we look at things, it's very objective, which is it relies on the it relies on the researcher selection. If you in your study, you want to study 1 IV, 2 DV, it is only focus on that. Itu je maksudnya, objective. Okay, the reality is something that can be studied objectively. Okay, researchers should remain distant and independent of what is being researched. Okay, yang ni, before we conduct our study, the researcher already determine what are the variables that he or she want to include in the study. During the data collection, the researcher must remain distant. The researcher cannot influence the respondent. Faham? Maksudnya when you give the questionnaire to your respondent, so the respondent only need to respond according to the indicated items only. So maksudnya the researcher cannot ask extra question. Faham? It is solely based on the finalized questionnaire. Faham Kalau for example when you receive a questionnaire, you just answer the questionnaire. You do not answer the question given by researcher. Itu maksudnya the researcher should remain distant. The researcher cannot insert their bias. Okay, faham Research is value free, in which the values of the researcher do not interfere with or become part of the research. Ni relate lah. The researcher tu cannot influence the respondent to answer the questionnaire. Okay, it's solely based on the respondent. Research is based primarily on deductive forms of logic and theories. So this one relate to how we connect our variables when we do the literature review and how we select the theory. Okay, when we come up with the hypothesis, for example, we need to be based on the logic findings given by previous scholar and then also based on theory. Okay, and then next one, hypotheses are tested in cause-effect manner. So basically in quantitative, we have hypotheses. Okay, we want to know the cause and effect. What are the IVs and the DV? The relationship flows lah. Okay, and the goal is to develop generalizations that contribute to theory. Generalizations ni meaning that after we test the theory, We have the theory, we test the theory through when we derive the connection between our IV and DV. We collect the data among the samples. Okay, the result from these samples, we want to generalize to larger population. Okay. It enables the researcher to predict, explain and understand some phenomena. Predict ni meaning that because we have the variables. Okay, so for example, if you still can recall, when I said that when you do the linear regression, kita ada this equation. Okay, we come up with this equation y equals to mx plus c, or in academic term we use b0 plus b1x1 plus b2 x2. Kalau if let's say you have two IVs lah. Okay, ini form dia. So this one, okay, this equation after we conduct our study and then we found out we got our finding. When we illustrate our finding in linear regression form, in linear equation form, we can make prediction. Betul tak? Bila kita belajar regression dulu. Regression, when we learn about regression dulu, when we were given the constant ni, okay, when we given the constant, what is the value of x1 and x2 ni, sorry ni x2 when we were given the value of constant which is x1, or the constant is x1 lah kan, x1 x2 right, the constant b, which one the constant saya pun lupa dah, b1 ke b ke x constant. Okay, the constant is b0, b1, b is constant kan, x variable, x may change. The constant tu will be similar, right? Siapa-siapa ingat tak?
Yeah,
betul kan? B tu constant. Mana dah?
Constant.
Arisha terus larikan diri, takut saya tanya dia. Okay, so B constant. So when we were given the constant, okay, we can automatically replace the value ni. If let's say we got in the study, okay, we determine the value of B ni, okay, the constant, but at any given time, any given changes, we just insert the value of x1 and x2 ni. So we can come up with the prediction for y. We can make the prediction for the occurrence of y based on this linear equation. Okay, ini maksud dia. So ada soalan? Nampaklah pula. Okay, ada soalan tak?
Tak ada.
Okay, so far clear
Tak ada.
Kuali, make a quantity, make sure you all betul-betul faham. Okay, so next one, the purpose of quantity is for generalizability. So hopefully you already understand what does it mean by generalization. Meaning that you collect data from small sample. Small sample ni maksudnya 30, minimum 30. Okay, maksud kalau dalam kuali small sample ni 30. In which if let's say 30 ni in kuali, it is a very large sample. Okay, so maksud small and large in quali and quanti ni tak sama. In quanti, 30 considered small sample. Meanwhile in quali, 30 considered large sample. Okay, the smallest sample size only in quali is 1. Tu memang small sample lah. Okay. And then the generalizability, which is time and context free generalization through normative or generalized statement. We want to make prediction and then causal explanation. Okay, causal explanation ni biasanya kita akan guna design experimental to make a causal explanation. Causal, cause and effect explanation, cause and effect. Okay, biasanya dalam experimental study. Okay, so the next one, the approach. Okay, what we can do in quanti ni, basically we start with hypothesis and theories in literature review. Okay, manipulation and control. If you use the experimental experimental study, it will involve the manipulation and control. Manipulation means that you have one control group, one manipulate or intervention group. Okay, use formal or structured instrument. Okay, for those who use questionnaire, they are going to have the structured instrument. Okay, the questionnaire tu lah maksud dia. Experimentation and intervention, let's say it involve ni lah for experimental ni. Deductive and then component analysis. Okay, and 6 consensus, the norms in which you are trying to get the standard result, standard agreement, the mutual agreement between the respondent. Okay, it reduce data to numerical index. Okay, and then abstract language in write-up. Okay, and then the researcher role. When you do the quantitative research, the researcher must detach and impartial. Detach and impartial ni, you cannot insert your values and influence to your respondent. Objective portrayal, objective meaning that the researcher ni should be very objective. You cannot be subjective. Okay, and then ethic, which is the outsider's point of view. Okay, the respondent tu should answer the question based on their own view. They cannot ask someone else. Ini maksudnya role respondents researcher role. Dia tak sama dengan kuali. Okay? Okay. Sebab dalam kuanti, the instrument to collect the data can be questionnaire. But in kuali, the instrument to collect data is the researcher themselves. Sebab tu researcher nak tak nak dia akan masukkan bias dia bila dia buat data collection for kuali. For kuanti yang collect data nanti adalah questionnaire. Walaupun we are responsible to distribute. Okay, but the respondent akan deal dengan questionnaire. But for kuali, the researcher that will ask the question to the respondent. Faham Okay, faham Okay, so for quantitative research, okay, so basically we are in general, kalau in terms of time frame we have cross-sectional, longitudinal. Cross-sectional ni meaning that you do your data collection at one point of time only. For example, you want to collect your data in 2020, in May 2020, so that's it. Meanwhile, longitudinal ni you collect your data few times along the time period. Okay, longitudinal maksudnya you first data collection you conduct in 2010 and then now 2020 and then the next will be 2030. It is longitudinal. Okay. So, under cross-sectional ni, it can be divided into 2 larger group which is experimental and non-experimental. Okay, ni betulkan balik Tadi saya kata quasi ni bawah non-experimental, so dia bawah experimental. Okay. So kita ada experimental, non-experimental. For experimental ni we have true experimental. True experimental ni yang betul-betul experimental. Itu maksud dia. Okay. Quasi experimental research ni dia ada sikit-sikit elemen research, elemen experimental. Pre-experimental ni dia CP experimental. Okay. Tapi in terms of dia punya principle tu dia ada that experimental part. Okay. So for experimental ni dia ada single variable design. Single variable design ni meaning that for example you want to study only one variable. For example performance. You want to study about performance only. Then you ada before and after. Okay. Itu contoh. Factorial design ni you have more than one variable. Okay, you have more than one variable. Okay, so in terms of the time, dia ada pula in terms of the timing of experience ni dia ada retrospective study and prospective study. Dia ada 2 pula. Okay, so next one kita ada experimental. We have descriptive survey research. Ni. Ingat tak ni? Survey ni. Kataan survey ni. Descriptive survey research. Okay. And then we have meta-analysis. We have ex post facto or causal comparative research. This one, ex post facto ni, dia lebih kurang experimental. But it is not solely experimental. Okay. And then lastly, we have correlational research. Okay. So then longitudinal, we have 3 types: trend study, cohort study, and panel study. Okay. So since it's 10, sebelum saya masuk ni, saya bagi dulu group siap-siap. Next week, I know this week, I'm sure that our lab session will focus on the presentation of your statement of problem, but it's okay. I give the group, let's find the group untuk bagikan tugas siap-siap so that next week we will start with the presentation. Next week saya akan cover lagi tapi kita bagi group siap-siap. Okay, I want how many groups 1, 2, 3, 4. Berapa group saya nak? Banyak sangat ke? Experimental, kejap experimental, non-experimental, longitudinal. For longitudinal, I want 1 group. Okay, 1 group. And then I want 1 group focusing on prospective and retrospective ni 1 group. Retrospective and prospective ni 1 group. Okay, and then for non-experimental ni I need 2 groups for each lab for each lab. Okay, 2 group sebab kita ada berapa roughly? Make sure kita start dengan yang those group that not yet present previously. Okay, yang belum present lagi. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I need 6 groups. Those not yet present, kalau dah tak cukup, so ambil balik yang dah present. So nanti kita akan rotate balik. So the group, the lab leader, please take note I need 6 group. First, the group that present on the longitudinal, which is specific on trend study, cohort study, and panel study. So 3. Okay, and then 2 groups present related to non-experimental, which is descriptive survey research. Tapi meta-analysis ni tak payahlah. Meta-analysis tak payah present. Descriptive survey ni combine with ex post facto. Okay, descriptive and ex post facto ni 1 group. Correlational research ni 1 group. This correlational research ni dia present sekali dengan ni. So tukarlah 5 group je. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 group je. Okay, so first this one, longitudinal. Second, dia present descriptive survey research and ex post facto. This one, 1 group. Correlational research ni dia present dengan timing of experience ni, retrospective dengan prospective study. Okay, this is 1 group. Okay, experimental pula. Pre-experimental dengan quasi-experimental ni 1 group. Okay, but make sure pre-experimental and quasi-experimental and the discussion include both for single variable and factorial design. Same goes to true experimental ni. True experimental 1 group je. Okay, true experimental 1 group, but make sure the discussion include both single variable and factorial design. Study betul-betul, faham betul-betul, but just assume that you are a lecturer, that you are going to explain to your audience. Okay? So any question so far? Is it my instruction clear? Ada soalan nak tanya pasal instruction saya?
Doktor, yang group presentation tu for those before this, if we already present about the reference, so no need to do this slide.
Kalau we focus first on those group, the group not yet present. Okay, so kalau macam contoh kalau yang tak present bawa ada 4, but now we need 5, so guna balik yang dah present. Tapi kita take note lah siapa yang present dah present 2 kali sebab kita akan guna flow yang sama nanti. Okay, siapa yang tak present kita suruh present lagi. Okay.